Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, everybody, and welcome to BAM Live. Thank you for tuning in and checking us out today. We've got a lot to talk about, not as much weather-wise the next couple of days. We don't have a ton of weather to talk about, but I do think that we have a couple of nice things that we want to talk to you about as far as what we're going to be doing here at BAM. If you take a look here at our BAM HQ dashboard, you can see here, this is something that all of our clients are going to have access to. Clients that for events, for golf courses, you want to be sure if you have an event or you work for a school or anything like that, this is something that you're going to be able to access as a new feature on our website. Certainly something that if you know anybody in that industry, to check out, because it is certainly something that's going to be great. You'll have access to a 36-hour forecast. If you take a look here, then you can click on that live radar and go immediately to range rings where if there's lightning in the area, these will light up, whether it be within 10, 20, and 30 miles away. So certainly a cool new feature that we are going to be dealing with here. So taking a look here, this is the 72-hour snowfall total that we had with that system last week. So obviously did not snow too much across Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. The biggest snows did come across Missouri, Iowa, and then into northern Illinois and Wisconsin. Generally, these areas saw a solid 3 to 6 inches of snow, with the heaviest amounts out here to the west. So certainly not seeing a whole lot of snow so far this winter. If we take a look at our January temperatures right now, you can see we are 5 to 8 degrees above normal across the entire eastern United States. So you're certainly not getting to use those snow tires so far this year. But if you do need to upgrade them, if you're interested in a GMC or a Buick, be sure to go on down to Ray Skillman Auto Center on US 31 South and ask for Colt. Tell them that BAM sent you. And, you know, obviously we haven't had to use those snow tires, too much so far this year, but we did get at least some of that snow in December. You can see here, snowfall right now, only at 0.3 inches for the January for the year so far. We are the 5th least snowy on record, so at least we got a little bit of snow last week, and we picked up again 0.3 of an inch. Got to work out some of those snow tires just a little bit, but for the most part here, it's just been a very warm and a very wet January. We are 7.5 degrees above normal so far this year. We are the 6th warmest January on record right now, as well as the 4th wettest. So we certainly have not been deprived of any moisture. It's just been too warm to get in on any of that snow. Now we do have a couple of chances that I want to talk about, mainly down to the south. If you take a look here at our simulated radar, this is as we work into Wednesday evening and into your Thursday morning. We've got a weak little wave of snow that will work across southwestern portions of the state. I think that maybe some very light accumulations cannot be ruled out, mainly on grassy surfaces. But for the rest of us here across the state of Indiana, looking to stay mostly dry, maybe a couple of flurries as far north as the Bloomington or Greensburg area, but generally it looks like this very light snow is going to stay down closer to Paducah, Mount Vernon, Evansville, and maybe clipping the Louisville area. As far as total snow with this, generally here, I think that it's going to be a very light coating, probably at the most. Maybe a coating, an isolated ½ an inch out here, out to the west and central portions of Illinois. But as far as total snow here in the Indy metro area, not going to expect anything with that. So now let's talk about when that sun is going to return. It's been a dreary several days, and I know you all, just like me, are probably sick of all this cloud cover. I'm ready for the sun to come back. It's going to be a while. Here's a look at cloud cover all the way through your Friday, Saturday. Maybe get a couple of sunshine in there on Saturday morning, but I think for the most part here, it is going to be mostly cloudy over the next several days. The next big chance to see some notable and sustained sunshine will not come until Sunday, which just happens to be Groundhog Day. So the big question is the groundhog going to see its shadow, or are we going to get 6 more weeks of winter, or is it going to say winter is over? If we take a look here at the cloud cover forecast in Pennsylvania, where the good old groundhog is living these days, you can see the forecast right now is still looking like mostly cloudy conditions for Pennsylvania on your Sunday morning. Think that it's going to be difficult for him to see his shadow in those conditions, so maybe in early spring. Certainly looks that way given what we are seeing in our longer range, scientific reasoning. So just something to keep in mind, just a little fun tidbit there. We do have a winter storm that I think is going to set up early next week, but once again, looking like it could set up across the upper Midwest. Obviously, we're still 7 days out. There's still some time to change, but I do see a cold air source with this that I think could produce a swath of accumulating snow across the upper Midwest. Both models are in on this right now. So I think that, again, it looks like a rainmaker here in the Ohio Valley. Better chances, once again, are going to come up to your north. I do think that right now, that is how things stand. But ahead of that, take a look. I think that we could have a pretty nice warm up here. We're in the mid 40s as we work in the southern half of the state, as we work into your Saturday and then into your Friday and then into your Saturday here. Got a little bit of a cooler shot, maybe a brief little clipper off to the north. Something we need to keep an eye on Friday. Maybe a brief little bout of some rain and snow mix as we work into that time frame. Just something to keep an eye on. We'll touch more on that throughout the week. We'll allow Saturday to be a little bit cooler, but take a look at how that warmth comes in ahead of that system as we work into your Sunday and into your Monday. We're talking about 50s for a good portion of the state of Indiana, maybe even some 60s and 70s out to the west in portions of Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas. It is going to be a very warm start to next week, and then it perhaps even warmer as we work into Monday and next Tuesday. Take a look. Obviously, we're still a ways out from this right now, but model data is suggesting right now that many areas across the southeast United States could get up into the 60s as we work into early next week. So taking a look here, just going to start looking at some questions as we get to the end of this. All right, let's see. All right. All right. Well, while we look for some questions here, again, if you're in the market to buy a car right now, a GMC or a Buick, be sure to go on down to Ray Skillman Auto Center on US 31 South. Ask for Colt. Tell him BAM sent you. I probably need to get down there at some point too. My car's getting a little bit old. In fact, I think it's about 15 years old now. So certainly something that I need to be doing. And actually, I think Vince's girlfriend here went down to Ray Skillman a couple weeks ago and got herself a new car. So they were a lot of help. They've been great to us. Certainly would recommend checking them out if you are in the market right now. All right, any questions?
Brett, how much snow if we get snow in Chicago?
For which period?
Probably this next.
For the storm next week, way too early to talk about amounts. All right. Dustin says, just not a pattern for snow in the Ohio Valley. It really isn't. I mean, right now, we really had one kind of shot, and it would be this storm early next week because of where the polar vortex is going to be located. But the trend on that has to be further and further north out of the United States. It's just, we don't have that cold source there. It's just not cold enough right now, and we've really kind of missed our chance, I'm afraid. Of course, we still have a little bit of ways to go in winter, but I'm not super optimistic about it right now. Dustin asks, early severe weather season. You know, that's one of the things that we're going to do this week as we finalize our February and March outlook is look at some of our best analog years. Off the top of my head, I think that 2005 had some decent severe weather in there. That's been one of our top analogs for a long time, so I can't rule it out. I would definitely say better chances more into April, just given how the last several years have gone as far as not seeing a lot of severe weather in early spring. All right. Rob says, just took the plows off. Haven't had to plow for a month and a half now here in the...
Yeah, just as soon as you take them off.
Yeah, that's Murphy's Law. As soon as you take them off, then it'll snow. I'm not seeing it in the forecast right now, but that's just kind of the way things go sometimes. All right. Michael says, keep up the good work, fellas. Thank you. Be sure to like, share this Facebook post, this live feed. We'd love to get more people in on it and watching it. Hopefully we'll get some good weather in here over the next couple of weeks that we can talk about. Again, I want to keep an eye on early next week. Let's take a look again. Take a look at those temperatures. I mean, that's spring-like temperatures. It's 7 days out, but the signal's pretty strong right now. Even if it doesn't end up that warm, certainly looks like we're going to be a good 10, 15, 20 degrees above normal next Sunday and Monday ahead of that storm system. But you can see the sharp gradient here that the model's trying to set up. Again, 7 days out, a lot is going to be able to change on this here, but it certainly is a good setup for a winter storm up here in the upper Midwest as things stand now. Of course, we will keep you updated on it, but if you are excited for spring, if you're ready for spring, this is a great look. I'm ready to get out there and play some golf, so I'm pretty pumped about this weather if it does indeed pan out. All right, let's see. Can you talk about the blizzard of 78? Was a once in a lifetime storm, or could it happen again? Well, it hasn't happened in my lifetime. There was one down in Louisville in 1994, right before I was born, that was kind of similar. Got down to minus 27 degrees in Kentucky, put down 2 feet of snow in southern Indiana. I don't necessarily, a blizzard like that, it does seem like it's once in a generation. But as far as a heavy snow like that, I don't, it seems to happen every 20 or 30 years or so. So can't rule it out in the future. Does not look like we're going to see it here anytime soon this winter. Kyle Scott says, I love our new weather patterns the last few years. Glad you do. They've been a little frustrating for us here at the office, especially for those of us that love snow. Vince over there, we call him the heat miser. He is loving this winter, and he's certainly going to win our 4-inch snow forecast competition that we had, our January snow forecast. He forecasted that it was not going to snow again until early February. We got 0.3 inches, nowhere near that 4-inch mark that we were talking about, so he is definitely going to take home the dough there. All right. I do not see any more questions, guys. So thank you all for checking out our live stream today. Of course, we're going to continue to try to do this every day for you guys. So be sure to like and share. And of course, again, if you are interested in a new car, please go down to Ray Skillman Auto Center on US 31 South. Ask for Colt. Tell him that us at BAM sent you. He'll get you hooked up. We certainly love our guys down there. And again, hope you all have a great rest of your day and have a good Tuesday, and look forward to this warm weather perhaps coming next week.